Hey guys, Emily here. Thank you so much for joining me for this full-length Pilates mat class. Today we're going to be focusing on exercises more from the classical repertoire. There are a few exercises that I've thrown in there that are from the reformer exercises or are more contemporary exercises, but I really enjoy them and I think they're very advantageous. But for the most part, we're just going to be getting back to the basics today. So, unless you need a prop to help support your body or you need a prop for other reasons, we won't be using any props at all. So I'm going to begin long on my mat. My knees are bent. My heels are underneath my sits bones, hopefully no wider. I'm going to take my pointer and my middle finger and gently hold onto the sides of my thigh right under my knee. Tap my tail. And I'm going to articulate down slowly. I'm supporting myself with my pointer and my middle finger, but I don't really need them 100%. Ooh, I'm gonna go ahead and find a nice neutral spine here. So I have a nice flat sacrum, and my sacrum is from the backs of my hip bones down to my tailbone, and I have a slight lift from the top of my hip to my 12th rib. Your 12th rib is a lot lower on your back than you most likely think it is. I'm sinking those back ribs into the mat. I have nice, wide, flat shoulder blades. When I flatten my shoulder blades, I might find that I'm arching in my back and flaring in my ribs. Again, I want to sink those back ribs down to the mat and draw my ribs together in the front. Think of softening through the sternum and having a nice, wide collarbone. If it helps you, go ahead and flip your palms up to go ahead and open up through the shoulders, but melt in through the back ribs. Go ahead and lift your head gently. Take a look at your legs. Are they winging out to the side, or are your knees knocking into each other? Because remember, our heels are under our sits bones. So, my thighs are best friends, but even though my thighs are best friends, I can tell when my knees are bouncing in together and they're squeezing together. I want my knees separated slightly and my heels directly under my sits bones. Let's go ahead and take a few more deep breaths here. One more. Now I'm going to walk my heels in slightly. It's easier for me to find a nice flat sacrum here too. But from here we're going to tuck and tilt. All we're doing on the tuck is just imprinting our spine fiber, drawing our belly button down our spine. Don't press into your legs and lift your tail. Try to leave the same weight on your feet and use just your abdominals to sink your belly button down to your spine. Now come back to neutral and tilt your tailbone to the back of your head, giving yourself a slight little arch underneath your back. That's optional. Come back to neutral, imprint your spine using your abdominals. Find that neutral spine again, and now tilt your tail, trying to bring your tailbone to the back of your head. Your ribs will pop off the mat most likely. Back to neutral and imprint. And tilt. Now for the next three, let's go ahead and walk our legs all the way together. So all the inner aspects of our legs are squeezing, the inner parts of our feet, our calves, our knees, our inner thighs. And now imprint with your abdominals and tilt your tail to the back. Again, if you want, you can flip your palms up to the ceiling and tilt. One more tuck and tilt. Now we're going to curl up. We don't want to be crunched with our legs. So go ahead and walk them back out again, but leave them squeezed together. Try to find a nice wrap in your glute and a nice inner thigh squeeze. We're going to bring our fingertips together, touching in the center, and touch them to our sternum. Then we're going to reach them right up over our sternum and flip our palms up so they're seated over our shoulders with our palms facing away from us. We're going to take a nice inhale. On the exhale, we're going to curl up, lifting our head, neck, and shoulders, drawing our bottom of our ribs to the top of our hips, and reaching for the end of the mat. On the inhale, we're going to lower and exhale and curl up. Leave your tailbone very heavy here. You don't want to tuck your tail and lift your pelvis to your nose. Really squeeze under your arms, reaching long for the end of the mat to pull your shoulders away from your ears. Your gaze should be at your thighs. One more just like this, and then we'll go ahead and add on. So we're still going to be marching, but as we exhale, lift our head, neck, and shoulders, we're going to march our right leg up to tabletop. And inhale to lower. And exhale, left leg lift. And inhale to lower. And exhale, right leg. You have to really squeeze in on the obliques. You really incorporate the obliques a little. You don't want to crunch in on them, but really use the obliques to help keep that side down of the legs that's lifting up. One more. Now leave your left leg at tabletop, but rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Now bring your right leg up to tabletop. Tabletop is where your knees are directly over your hips and your shins are parallel to the mat. So they're not too low, they're not too high, parallel. So reach your fingertips up. We're going to inhale. As we exhale and curl up, we're going to reach our leg away from us, leaving the same bend in the knee as it's a tabletop, and lift and lower on the inhale. And exhale to curl up. Reach your right leg away. See how my leg didn't bend or straighten as I extended it? I'm keeping that same tabletop bend degree behind my knee. And lower. This is one of the harder exercises, guys. And exhale, toe dip. Don't worry about reaching your toe all the way to the mat. This is a warm-up exercise. And exhale, toe dip, left leg. Let's do one more on each side. And one more. Now, stay in your curl up. Bring your left leg back up to tabletop. With just our upper body, I'm going to oblique crunch, reaching my left arm down to the end of the mat. I'm going to come back through center, stay in my same curl up, and reach my right arm. The trick is to not let your hips get involved. So, as you reach, know that you're only reaching with the obliques up and over. Imagine that your bottom is screwed into the mat. One more on each side. And to the right. Now come back to center. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Bring your knees into your chest and give them a hug. We're going to do reverse ab curl. If you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, please don't do this exercise. Neck or back problems, please feel free, don't do this exercise. We're going to platform our arms down by our side. Our shoulder blades are nice and wide and flat. We're going to really hug our knees to our chest, so we're at a tabletop. The first thing we're going to be doing is imprinting our spine and then pressing into our triceps. We're going to try to float our tailbone off an inch and lower it back down and come to neutral. So we're peeling our spine off in the opposite direction now. It's a reverse ab curl rather than a curl up, right? So we're going to imprint our spine, tuck our tail, and try to peel it off with control, leaving our head, neck, and shoulders completely glued to the mat and neutral. And imprint and curl up. There shouldn't be any of this. That is cheating, for sure, right? So try to leave your legs squeezed in at the same degree, and lift and lower. And exhale to curl up and neutral. And exhale, imprint and lift and lower. And imprint and lift and neutral. Oh, it's a nice stretch for your low back. Let's do one more. Good. We're going to bring our legs back to tabletop. Our head, neck, and shoulders will stay down. We're going to point our feet and squeeze everything together in the center in what's considered to be mega leg, or what I've heard called mega leg. We're going to be doing footwork. So when we do footwork, since we just began class, just like in the toe dips, go higher than you normally would for your hundreds leg position or your working level. If you go down too low, the tendency is to tilt to your tailbone and to arch into your back, which will cause back pain. So, platform your arms down by your side, extend your legs out to working level, a little higher than working level, and pull it back in. As you do this, find the wrap in the glutes, the squeeze in the inner thigh. Drop the lower abdominals to support the legs. So the abs will support the legs here, right? And pull. And extend. And pull. Good. Here's 6. 7. We're going to go to 10 here. You can curl up on this, but since we've already done so many curl ups, we're going to work on maintaining a neutral spine here more than working the curl up. I find that a lot of times if you rest your head, neck, and shoulders, the exercises actually become harder. Like if you do hundreds with your head, neck, and shoulders down, it's actually harder for me to do it that way than with my head, neck, and shoulders lifted. And come back. Now, flex your feet, rotate the femur and the hip socket, and open your knees and toes. So your heels are glued together. Press them together strongly and really feel the engagement in the inner thigh. We're still in a tabletop position. We're going to work in frog to extend our legs and pull them back to the tabletop frog position. Now extend to a turned out Pilates ski flex foot position and pull it back. Here's 2. 3. Good. Here's 4. And 5. Make sure you're maintaining a nice neutral spine. 6. And 7. 8. On 10, we're going to stay out. Here's 9. Woo, my heels flew apart. And here's 10. Stay out. Now articulate through your feet to the ball of your feet to a demi-point or forced arch position, and then point. Now pull your toes back and pull your feet back. And that's a foot articulation. We're going to press through the balls of the foot, through the toe. Ball of foot, flex. Ball of foot, toe. Ball of foot, flex. Good. Here's 4. If you find this is too much for you, bend your knees slightly to a diamond position. So not back to tabletop, not fully extended, but in a diamond position. Good. So you can release some of the load on your body. We're still pulling in through each articulation of the foot. 1 more. Now flex your feet and pull it in. Bring your knees together. Give them a nice hug. Rock gently from side to side. We're going to be going into hundreds. Roll up. And then single leg circles. Bring your legs to tabletop. Float your fingertips up over your sternum again. Reach your palms away from you. Inhale, exhale to curl up. Now, find your hundreds position. Is it tabletop? Is it hook? Is it diamond? Is it frog? Is it extended in Pilates V? Is it parallel? Wherever it is, squeeze your legs together and begin pumping. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Continuous inhale. Continuous exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Squeeze your glutes together, or squeeze your glutes. Draw your inner thighs together. Draw your ribs to your hips. Don't crunch your chin to your chest. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try not to let your fingertips wing up. Reach them long and strong. Squeeze under your arms. Don't crunch your chin to your chest again, but imagine you have a little egg under your chin. If you crunch your chin, you'll crush your egg, and if you lift it too high, your egg will roll away. 2 more sets. Final set. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Challenge. Lower your legs and lift your arms as you rest your head, neck, and shoulders at the same time. Good. From here, we're going to begin roll up. My legs are squeezed together. My feet are separated in Pilates V and pointed. My fingers are up towards the ceiling, over my sternum. Palms flipped away from me. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to peel my head, neck, and shoulders off. My shoulders are coming directly out, or my arms are coming directly out of my shoulders. When I start to dive too far, they'll dip down.
I'm going to slide them out away from me as if I'm sliding them over on top of a table, and I'm going to bring my ears by my biceps. I'm going to inhale as I roll back. Again, when my arms start to go too low out of my shoulders, they're going to continue to go up, and I'm going to exhale as I lower the rest of the way down. So there's a special point where your arms will need to sort of like suction back into your sockets. Imagine your sockets are glued until you get to those certain points, right? We're going to inhale and begin to lift. When your arms become parallel with the floor, you're going to exhale, reach over your legs. Imagine you're rounding over a barrel. And inhale back. And then as you start to release your sacrum to the mat, begin to float your arms up. And inhale to lift. And when your sacrum lifts off the mat, exhale, reach forward. Drop your shoulders, squeeze some of the arms. Inhale back. And exhale to lift. Now, the trick to not floating your legs up is to pull down with your spine as you pull forward. So really round off the mat and roll off. Imagine your spine is a strand of pearls. You're going to lay each pearl or vertebra down on the mat, one by one, and then peel it off. Drawing your ribs to your hips, squeezing the backs of your legs, drawing them down to the mat, shooting energy out of your toes. Let's do 2 more. Final one. And go ahead and roll back down to the mat. And we're going to stay there. Now I'm going to scooch down just a little bit because I scooted up. So, a nice way to make sure that you're maintaining a neutral spine on single leg circles. We're going to do lower lifts and tick-tocks before we go into leg circles. So, I'm going to march my right leg up to tabletop. I have my left leg bent on the mat. This is a modification. I'm going to float my right leg up. I'm going to find grounding behind both my hips. Nice neutral spine. Now I'm going to flex my foot to lower and point to lift. As I do this, I'm going to make sure that nothing's shifting in the back of my body. It's easy to do this with my leg bent on the mat. I'm getting more support here, right? Now keep your leg up. Bring your leg further away from you. Now, bring your leg across the midline, leaving that right hip down, back to center, and bring it away from the midline, leaving that left hip down, back to center. See if you can maintain a neutral spine here. If this is no problem, we're going to extend our leg for single leg circles. If you find that you cannot maintain neutral spine in any of these positions, go back to the position before. Now extend your leg long. If you can't maintain neutral spine with your leg fully bent on the mat before you extend it further, go ahead and work from there, right? Now I'm going to squeeze my glute on the left leg as I bring my right leg across, down, around, and up. I don't want any shifting in my body. Inhale and exhale. And inhale across and exhale to lift. We have 3 more. Keep your circles at a width and a length so that you can maintain the neutral spine the whole time, right? Now reverse, inhale away and exhale it back up. And inhale. Here's 3. Place a hand on that left hip to make sure it's not rocking. Here's 5. And here's 6. Good. Now float the left leg up, bend the right leg in, place it on the mat with a bent knee. We're going to start with the lower lifts again. So we're going to find a nice neutral spine. We're going to flex our foot to lower it, the left leg, and point it and float it back up. Don't swing it. And left leg lower and point to lift. It's very hot to exhale it. pop your legs back up for a while. I find that a lot of people tuck their tail to do that, and I'm not as keen on that. So I'm going to extend my leg a little further, my right leg, so that I can try to maintain neutral spine here. I'm going to inhale my left leg across my body, and exhale it back to center, and away, and back to center. Now, keep the left hip down as your leg comes across your body. Bring it back through center. Keep the right hip down as it goes away. And one more. And away. Now, back to center. If you can, extend your leg all the way. Inhale the leg across, and exhale around and back up. And inhale across, and exhale back up. Good. Keep breathing. After this, we have a series of 5. Good. I'm sorry, we roll it like a ball in this series of 5. Reverse. Inhale away and exhale across. And inhale. Here's 3. And 4. Really shoot energy out of your toes. So you're really finding the length in your legs. And 6. Good. Lower the leg down. Float your hands up out of your sternum, palms reaching away. Inhale, exhale to curl up. Bend your knees, scooch forward towards your heels. Again, osteoporosis, osteopenia, back problems, neck problems, please do not do rolling like a ball. You can use this exercise as a balance challenge as you bring your ribs to your hips and around back. So I'm going to tuck my tail slightly, look in between the space between my glutes and my heels, and I'm going to float my feet off the mat. It'd be nice if our knees were no wider than our shoulders to maintain a tight little ball. I'm going to squeeze down on my legs, squeeze into my arms, so don't pop into my shoulders, right? I'm going to inhale, exhale, draw my belly to the spine, hold this contraction, and release. Inhale, exhale, draw my belly to my spine, draw my ribs to my hips even tighter, and hold the contraction. This is the modification exercise for people with the issues that we discussed earlier. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, exhale, squeeze our glutes, roll to the tips of our shoulder blades, exhale, back up. Now, if you flat tired or felt your low back smack on the mat, you've released your curl and you're going to swing yourself up like that. So really maintain the round position and use the exhale to roll yourself back up. So inhale. I love a loud, embarrassing exhale. I'll use it again later on neck pull. And inhale. We're going to 8. We have 4 more. Here's 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Challenge for getting into series of 5. Draw your knees together, tuck your tail, roll back, and stay and curl up. Otherwise, come down on your back, one leg to tabletop, other leg to tabletop. Inhale, exhale to curl up. We're going to extend our left leg as our left hand comes to the inside of our right knee, and our right hand reaches for our right ankle. Inhale through center. Exhale, bring your right hand to the inside of your left knee, and your left hand will reach for your right ankle. Switch. Switch. Your hands, as you come through center, they can just sort of float over to the other leg a little slower, or whatever's comfortable. Here's 5, we're going to 6. We're going to go straight into the double leg stretch. So if you need to take a break, please feel free to. And then we're going to go into scissor double leg lower lift, take a break, and then go into elbow to knee. So we have our legs in a tight ball. My tail is heavy. I'm reaching for my ankles with my hands. I'm going to inhale, extend my legs to working level, bring my hands up to the ceiling or by my ears, no further back. I'm going to exhale my arms to a T, and then pull my legs in and inhale. Let your arms come to the T before you pull your legs in. Inhale, bring your arms to a T on the exhale, and then draw your legs in and inhale. Don't lose your curl up as you reach back. The challenge is the load of your body on your abs. Final one. Complete the move before you hug your knees and rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Go ahead and rock gently from side to side. We're going to do scissors and then double leg lower left. So extend your legs up to the ceiling. Reach your fingertips up out of your sternum. Inhale, exhale to curl up, looking in at your knees or thighs. Now, wherever you can reach your leg to you is fine, but don't hop your body up to reach your leg. So if this is all the further you can reach, you can still get a nice stretch there behind the thigh and pull, pull. If you can reach your calf, pull, pull, and then pull, pull. Never hold on behind the knee because it'll bend, bend. We want a straight leg pull, pull. Honestly, sometimes I really enjoy the stretch I get from pull, pulling behind my hamstring more than I enjoy the stretch further up my leg. You can, if you have the flexibility, grab your foot, but make sure that your back hip stays on the mat so you're not tucking it to achieve this movement. Good. Now, leave your feet up, rest your head, neck, and shoulders real fast because I have found that people tend to dip their bodies when they do this. I'm going to interlace my hands, my fingers, right where my neck and skull meet at the base of my neck. My thumbs are long down my neck. I'm going to bring my elbows up so they're in my periphery. I'm going to inhale, exhale to curl up. My head's resting in my hands to make it harder on my abs, so I'm not pulling myself up with my arms. I'm resting my head in my hands. I can really feel it in my abs. So I'm going to flex my feet and lower 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. I'm going to point and lift. I'm working in parallel to begin. Down 1, 2, 3, and point and lift. Maintaining a neutral spine. 2, 3. One more. And then we're going to turn our feet out to Pilates V and do 4 more. I know I said 6, but this is 2, 3. I made a mistake. Sorry, guys. We all get the benefit of extra lower lifts. Oh, I hate lower lifts. 1 more. 2, 3, point and lift. Bring your knees into your chest. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. So now we're going to do elbow to knee. And instead of thinking of lifting your elbow to your knee, imagine dropping your elbow going close to the mat, and increasing the rotation rather than thinking of drawing the elbow or underarm up to the knee. So legs in tabletop, interlace your fingers again, thumbs long down your neck, inhale, exhale to curl up. Extend your right leg and rotate, dropping that left elbow to the mat. Come back to your center, draw that right leg in. Extend the left leg, drop that right elbow to the mat. The benefit of thinking of dropping your elbow is that you don't get as much rocking in your hips. So you want the rotation to come from the ribs, not from the lower body. So really extend the leg and rotate. Don't lose the curl up. You don't want to go like this in between, right? You want to find the rotation and come back to the same level of curl up and rotate. Same level of curl up and rotate. Same level of curl up. Hug your knees into your chest again. Give them a gentle rock from side to side. We're going to plant our feet on the floor. Reach our fingertips up. Inhale, exhale to curl up, 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 up. Don't swing yourself up. We're going to extend our legs long. We're going to separate our feet. Hip width are a little wider, no wider than the distance of the mat, the width of the mat. We're going to extend our legs long. A little hyperextension on my body, otherwise my knees are bent. So, I'm going to reach energy out of my legs. I'm going to bring my fingertips to my sternum again. Reach them out in front of me. We're doing spine stretch from here. We're going to be doing a 4-count spine stretch. If you have tight hamstrings, please feel free to find a wedge or a rolled up towel to place under your booty to lift it up slightly so that you can sit up nice and tall. Now, just like we were talking about roll up, we're going to talk about the arms again and keeping them parallel with the mat. So they're going to stay parallel as we begin the rotation and we begin to draw our abs up and in and begin to articulate down to look over and acknowledge our knees or thighs. From there, we're going to draw our belly up and in. Imagine rounding over a barrel and reach out long. Now we're going to pull back off the barrel and then articulate back up. It wasn't until we reached out long that our arms traveled parallel to the mat. So inhale. Try to bring your biceps by your ears. And left. And inhale. And exhale to reach. And inhale to pull back. And exhale to sit up tall. And inhale. And inhale. This exercise used to be used to exhale all the stale air out of your lungs. So inhale. Another nice embarrassing exhale. And inhale. And pull back. Let's do one more. Inhale. Look down at your thighs as you begin to articulate down. Exhale to reach long. Reaching up and over that barrel. And inhale to pull back. And lift up tall. Now, bring your feet together and scooch towards your heels. This is another spinal rolling exercise. So osteoporosis, osteopenia, neck problems, low back problems, please do not do this exercise. You can do the balance challenge though, and we will begin with that. So everyone will begin by tucking your tail slightly, bringing your toes together in the center, and holding on to your legs. Part of the trick that I learned just to do a rolling like a ball is when your legs are extended, you squeeze into your arms and pull down on your shin slightly. So you're really locking under the arms and stabilizing there. So let's go ahead and practice some of that real fast. We're going to extend our right leg up. Again, just like rolling like a ball, we want to leave our legs within our shoulder distance. We don't want them too wide because it'll send our rolling like a ball a little wild. And we're going to lower. And now extend your left leg. Pull down in your underarm. Really connect with the ribs and underneath the arm. And now right leg. And lower. And now left leg. If you want to add on from here, we're going to go both legs. Try to keep your shins and legs in line with your shoulders and lower. Now we're going to do one more for people who are rolling who are open leg rocker rolling. For those of you who are not, please continue with this balance challenge. So extend both legs, pull down on your legs, tuck your tailbone back in the inhale. Ooh, no balance for me that time. And exhale to balance. Now inhale to roll back. Exhale, pull down and balance. And here's 3. We're going to 8. Here's 4. 5. Try to roll down equally through both sides of your spine. Here's 7. And here's 8. Challenge. Bring your legs together. Roll down to your back. We're going to do corkscrew. If that's not for you, bring your feet down and articulate down to the mat. One-legged tabletop, other-legged tabletop. Extend your legs. We're going to be doing corkscrew 1 today. So, nothing in our backs of our body is going to move, but our legs will slide against each other as they both travel around in a circle. Looking up, my feet are at 12 o'clock right now. I'm going to bring them to 9 o'clock. I didn't think about that. Or 1 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Now reverse for 9, 6, 3, 12. Now go 3, 6, 9, 12. So see how my hips are moving? It's because my legs are sliding against each other as they go around. I'm really drawing my abs down and in when they go to 6 to support the load of my legs. Final 1, You can go ahead and hold on gently behind your legs. No swinging up, but go ahead and place your feet down and articulate up. Good. We're going to be going into soft. So again, just like with spine stretch, we're going to separate our feet, the width of our hips, maybe a little wider. We don't need to go into a straddle split, all right? No wider than the mat. Bring your arms to a T. Give me a little bit more weight in the pinky blade edge. Now bring those arms in your periphery. Rotate towards the left. Don't allow your hips to shift. So just like an elbow to knee, the ribs are coming across. Flip your back palm up, so off your baby toe by rounding over that barrel, just like in roll up and spine stretch. Articulate up, come through center, growing taller. Rotate to the right. Flip that back palm, saw your baby toe off, rounding over that barrel. Articulate up, come through center. Rotate. And dive. And articulate up. And through center. And rotate. Think of drawing your ribs to your hips as you articulate down, rather than reaching forward. And you'll really feel the articulation in the center. Shake your feet together. Come onto your side and roll onto your stomach. We're going to be doing swan prep and single leg kick before we go on to neck pull. So that's super exciting, right guys? So I'm gonna take off my glasses. I'm gonna place my forehead on the mat. I'm gonna squeeze my biceps into my ribs. My elbows are going to be pointed towards my hips. My palms are going to be under my shoulders. I'm going to squeeze my legs together with my inner thighs. They don't necessarily have to be touching, but they do need to be close. Otherwise, our hips, our booty's going to go like this, so we need to squeeze our glutes, drawing our thighs together. Now draw your belly button up and in, and draw your ribs together. This will help to protect your low back. If when doing swan prep you feel it in your low back, the first thing you need to do is draw your belly button all the way to your spine, tighter, tighter, tighter. If that doesn't work, squeeze your thighs together. Both of these things will inhibit your flexibility in your low back because you're most likely dumping into your low back. Or you could just not be able to do spine or swan, right? But if neither of those work, please do not do swan any further. So, squeezing our legs, squeezing our glutes, drawing our abs up and in, wrapping our ribs. Inhale, press into your pinky blade edge more. As you grow tall, draw your shoulders down your back and press up into a swan prep. And exhale as you lower, vertebra by vertebra, but on the front, drawing your ribs together, squeezing your thighs. Inhale and lift. Exhale, lower. We'll just do one more since we're going to do single leg kick as well. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Now, begin to press your hands forward, pressing into your forearms. You'll be raised up to a sphinx-like position. I can get pretty lazy here. My shoulders are up by my ears. My shoulders are stacked over my elbows, which is where they should be. My palms are flat. Now, just like I did before, I'm going to squeeze my legs. I'm going to squeeze my glutes. I'm going to draw my belly up and in, draw my ribs together. You'll notice that by doing all of those things, I've lifted up in my lower body. From there, before we begin, we're just going to squeeze energy out of our right toe, really drawing it long, squeezing the glute, floating that leg off, and lower. Now, same with your left leg. Squeeze that leg long, pressing energy out of your toe and lift. Now, right leg, think of it like a really slow swimming exercise. Good. Now, lower. Now, right leg up, flex to pulse towards your glute, flex to point, and release. Left leg floats off and slide on the mat. Flex to pulse, flex to point, release. If your body's going like this, you are not using enough glute. The bend of your leg does not matter, the squeeze of the glute does. So if you're really worried about getting your leg here, don't worry about that. Worry about maintaining your body and pulse, pulse, release. You should be completely still. Left leg, pulse, pulse, release. Flex, pulse right, point, pulse right, release. Flex, pulse left, point, pulse left, release. Now, press back into a child's pose. Reach your arms long. Reach your heels to your glutes. We're gonna take a couple nice deep breaths here, because then we're gonna go in a neck pull. Oh, neck pull. So go ahead and walk yourself up, articulate out. Head should be the last thing to lift. We're going to come onto our high knees. No fancy way to get there from here. I'm going to put my glasses back on. So, in neck pull, just like in elbow to knee and double leg lower lift, we're going to interlace our fingers, place them at the base of our skull, thumbs long down our neck. If you find you cannot get about going like this, we're going to take the fingertips in the center on the sternum situation that we did and just flip it. We're going to take it here and go here to our third eye with the fingers in the center, and that's going to help you pull down onto your underarms and find a position where hopefully you can get less of the swinging and the squeezing of the elbows together to lift yourself up in the spine stretch. So, reaching our feet out long in front of us. Feet are separated ever so slightly, right under our sits bones, like the beginning of class. Feet are flexed. I'm going to begin here so that you can see. So, my fingertips are in my third eye. My elbows are forward slightly. I'm sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to flat back, hinge back. When my legs begin to get light, I'm going to tuck my tail and articulate down. I'm going to inhale, peel off like in round back. I'm going to inhale to lift to a flat back hinge, reaching my tip top of my head for where the wall and the ceiling meet in front of me. I'm going to flat back hinge all the way up to sitting up tall. I'm going to continue the inhale as I hinge back. Tuck my tail, articulate down, and then I'm going to exhale. Articulate forward over my legs. And lift. And inhale. And inhale, flat back. Articulate down. And exhale. Turn forward over the legs. Flat back hinge up for a nice hamstring stretch. And sit up tall. And inhale, flat back. And tuck my tail, roll back. And exhale. Run over my legs. Flat back hinge up. And inhale to sit up tall. I'm going to scooch forward ever so slightly. I scooted my way back. And from here, I'm going to bring my hands interlace behind my head, thumbs long down my neck. Inhale to flat back hinge back. Tuck my tail, roll down to the mat. I'm going to exhale. Run over my legs. Lift up and sit up tall. Articulate down. If you find that your elbows together, go ahead and come back to the fingertips in front of your forehead. Otherwise, keep breathing. Good job, guys. We have one more. Last one, best one, right? If you have a mirror nearby, make sure that you are able to find a true flat back in your hinge. Last one. Don't stop at the bottom and take a break. You'll lose your momentum and your connection to your abs, and that's very bad. And sit up nice and tall. Oh, give your legs a quick shake. We're going to sag your tail and roll back. We're going into bridging. So walk your heels into your glutes. Find a nice neutral spine. If you're able to, squeeze your legs together. Otherwise, separate your heels no wider than your sits bones. When we bridge, make sure that you're not arching into your back or getting up on your neck, but you're platforming on your shoulder blades. Platform your arms by your side. We're going to do the same imprint tuck tilt that we did at the beginning, but we're going to roll up to a bridge after that. So think of the tuck tilt as the world's tiniest bridge. So we're going to inhale, exhale, imprint our spine, begin to articulate up. Squeeze your hamstrings to try to drive your knees over your toes. Now, vertebra by vertebra, articulate back down to the mat. Remember earlier when we were talking about your spine being a strand of pearls and each vertebra was a single pearl? Same thing here. Imprint, roll your spine up and off, reach those heels over, make sure your hips are even, and articulate back down. One more, and we're gonna add on some fun stuff, right? Imprint, and tuck your tail and lift. Now, squeeze just your right glute for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Odds are you won't see much, right? And now left one, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're squeezing your glute, not popping your hip, you're not gonna see much. Now both, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tuck your tail and roll down. Next, we're going to be doing a hinge bridge where everything lifts up at the same time to a bridge and lowers at the same time. So, and a lift up, and a lower, and a lift up, and a lower. None of the articulation up and the articulation down. So no imprinting. We're going to maintain a neutral spine. Draw your legs together, squeeze your under thighs, and hinge up. Go ahead and take a look. Make sure that your hips are even. Drive your knees over your toes and lower everything down. And now squeeze it up. Squeeze your knees together and lower. On this next one, we're going to add on something fun and lift. Now, put the weight in your right and your left foot, but don't shift your feet, your hips, and hover your right foot off the mat an inch and lower. Weight in your right foot, hover your left foot an inch and lower. And now right foot and lower. Make sure your hips aren't shifting. One more on each side. And left foot and lower. Hinge bridge down. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a gentle rock. From side to side, we're going to be doing spine twist, side bend, and side lying legs. So bring your feet flat on the mat. Inhale, exhale, articulate up. Extend your legs long. We're going to begin by giving ourselves a hug. So sit up nice and tall, give yourself a hug. Rotate to the right and try to look back. If you have osteoporosis, osteopenia, neck and back problems, please do not do this exercise. Come back through center and rotate to the left. If that was no problem for you, go ahead and take your fingertips and place them on your shoulders. Bring your elbows slightly in your periphery. Rotate to the left and center. And rotate to the right, taller, taller, taller. And center. If you felt like that was no problem for you, take your fingers, reach your arms up, a little bit more weight, your pinky blade edge. Don't swing your arm back to make it to the movement, right? Leave your arms where they are and rotate. And back through center. And leave your arms where they are. Don't swing your arm behind you. And rotate. And back to center. From there, we're going to go ahead and side bend. A couple options for side bend. Your arms can be up here, but I'm going to teach it to begin with your hand down by your side because that's how we're going to end class. So, arms to a T. Reach your hand slightly in front of your hip, your right hand, and when you bend your elbow's going to be touching your hip. So, bring your bicep up by your ear. Squeeze under the arm so don't crunch into your shoulder. Reach up and away to lengthen out of the side. Now, straighten the arm. Bring the arms up to a T. Take the left hand, put it slightly in front of your hip. Bring your right bicep up by your ear. Bend the elbow in, squeeze under the arm, and reach yourself long, long, long. Lengthen instead of crunch for the side bend. Straighten the elbow and sit up tall. One more time, and then I'll add on to do the more advanced version of the side bend. I'm going to bring my right hand in front of my right hip, left bicep up by left ear, and bend my elbow and reach. Keeping that left hip on the mat, straighten my arm, come back up to sitting tall, place my left hand in front of my left hip, right bicep by right ear, reach to the left side, keep that right hip down, and sit up tall. From there, I'm going to bring both hands by both ears, by both biceps by both ears. It is more difficult because you don't have any support and you have more load to side bend from side to side, so odds are your side bend will not be as extreme. So reach for where the wall and the ceiling meet on the right side and use your left oblique to pull yourself up to sitting tall. Now reach for the wall and ceiling on the left side, and use your right oblique to sit up tall. Good job, guys. I'm going to roll down onto my right side first. I'm going to look at my fingers to figure that out. I'm going to line up my back, all the way tipped up my head through my tailbone with the back of the mat. I'm not going to bring my head forward. I'm going to bring my arm to my head. I'm going to lift up out of my side closest to the mat. So I have a little tiny lift from my hip to my ribs. Whoop, a tiny, tiny, tiny little lift that you probably will never see. So today for fun, we're going to switch the order of our legs. We're going to be working in a Pilates V first. So go ahead and bring your feet forward slightly to give yourself a little support if you'd like. Lift up. So you're going to know if you're walking back, because you're going to lose your balance when your leg goes, if your leg goes behind you, like it will in a minute. So just remember that in a minute. So go ahead and rest your fingers gently in front of you and point your foot up and flex to lower it. Keep that lift. Don't sink down as you lift. So lift and flex to lower. And point to lift. Good. Squeeze your glutes on both legs. Now on this fifth one, we're going to keep the flex on our foot and reverse to the last 5. So flex it up, point, and then lower. And then flex and point and lower. And flex and point and lower. One more. Now from there, we're going to drag our toe as we bend our knee until it touches the knee on the grounding leg. We're going to extend our foot up, flex it, and bring it down. Now point your foot, drag that toe until it finds the knee. Now our knee's up, it's not forward, right? We're reaching up. Rotating the femur in the hip socket. Extend, flex, and lower. And point and drag. And extend, flex, and lower. And point and drag. We have one more after this one. And then we're going to reverse it. So, leave the flex. And flex your foot up, point it, tap the toe to the knee, and drag it down until your leg is straight. And flex to lift, point, tap. And flex, point, tap. Here's 4. And here's 5. Now, leaving the rotation in the hip socket, float your foot up until it's hip height. And let's do 10 tiny circles from where the glute and the thigh meet. Now stop and reverse. Now you can leave your leg there. Bring both feet to parallel. This is the one where you're going to feel yourself lose your balance if you start to rock back. So keep it the equal weight on your grounding leg. Now point to bring your foot forward and flex to pull it back. If you bring your foot behind you, squeeze your glute to do it. Don't rock in your hips to achieve this movement. Here's 2. Here's 3. If you'd like more of a challenge, put your hand on your hip. Good. Here's 5. And 6. Woo. Here's 7. And 8. And 9. And 10. Now, leaving your foot at hip height, set both feet so they're on top of each other. Squeeze your inner thigh to bring your top foot to your bottom foot and pull them apart with the outside of the glutes. Just at hip height. Repeat. If you go any further than hip height, you're going to be working different muscles that we're not trying to work at this point. So this exercise is really working those outer glutes, and that's where we want to stay. Here's 5, 6, 7. Ooh, I feel in that tiny little muscle in my butt. 8, 9, 10, and now leave your foot at hip height without losing that lift in that body. Squeeze the inner thigh to bring the bottom leg to the top leg and release. And squeeze that inner thigh and release. Nothing should move but the bottom leg. So it's a very hard exercise because we're removing bony landmarks and we're forcing our body to balance. Here's 8. Here's 9. And here's 10. Good. Leave the foot at hip height. We're going to hot potato. So we're going to rotate our foot to the inside, tap our toes, bring it back, and then rotate to the heel to try to tap it back. And tap. Don't let your hip rock back. Here's 4, toe, heel. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and heel, toe and heel. Good. Stack your feet. Bring it into a 90-degree position. So you have 90 degrees from your body to your thighs, 90 degrees from your thighs to your calves, and flex your feet. Bring your feet about 2 inches. Now open without rocking back under your hip. This is all rotation, and squeeze. And open, and use your rotational inner thighs to squeeze. Now use your rotational muscles to open, inner thighs to squeeze. The inside aspects of my feet are not separating at all. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On 10, stay up. Now squeeze your butt muscle and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Squeeze together. Lower your feet. Come into a quadruped position on your hands and knees, where your wrists are directly under your shoulders and your knees are directly under your hips. Now, tuck your tail and round up into an angry cat looking at your thighs. Now don't shove your glutes behind you like this. Keep them there. And pull through and forward. So extend forward just like we were in swan. And squeeze your glutes, tuck your tail and left. Come back to neutral and reach up with your head. One more. And neutral and lift. Now, come on to the other side of sideline legs. I'm going to come to the opposite side, but you're welcome to just roll on your side and face the other side of your mat. So again, I'm going to line my back up with the back of the mat. From the tip-top of my head up through my tailbone. And then I'm going to reach my arm back to my head. I'm not going to come forward like this to hold on to my head. So, or to make a pillow for my head. So, stay nice and tall. Draw up and in on those low abs. Turn out to point in the Pilates feet first. It's always hard. It's always hard when you change the order of your exercises, isn't it? We're going to float our foot up, point a foot, flex it, and squeeze it together with the inner thigh. When you lift your leg, don't sink into the mat. Squeeze your glute on your left leg. Here's 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and here's 10. And now we're going to do the toe drag one. So we're going to point our foot, we're going to come into a développé. So pull the toe until it reaches the knee and you have a bent knee. Now extend your foot, flex it, and squeeze your inner thighs until your legs are connected. Point your foot, drag that toe along the inner calf till it reaches the knee, and extend and flex and lower. And point and drag. Extend and flex and lower, and point and drag. Extend and flex and lower, and point and drag. Extend and flex. Leave your foot flexed and lift it up and point. Tap your knee and drag your toe back down until you have a straight leg. Flex and lift. Point, tap, and flex and lift. Point, tap. Ooh, I got my shoulder a little bit. Make sure you're not doing that too, okay? The second leg's always the hardest because you've already used it to stabilize on the first side, right? Float the foot up to hip height, still turned up. 10 small circles coming from where the glute and the thigh meet. And now reverse. 7, 8, 9, 10. Leave your feet up at hip height. Turn your feet to parallel. Flex both feet. Now, point your foot forward and flex and pull it back. Use your glutes to pull the leg behind you. So if you're rocking back, you're using your hip, but you want to use that glute pull, just like we used for the single leg kick. Same feeling, but we've changed the position of the body, right? Keep that lift in the side closest to the mat. Here's 7. Here's 8. Challenge is to put your hand up on your hip. Here's 9. And here's 10. And flex to pull it back. Now stack your legs, squeeze your inner thigh, and pull it apart with your outer glute until you're at hip height again. Squeeze the inner thigh and use the outer glute to pull it apart. Here's 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. Woo. 8. 9. 10, keep it up there, and now squeeze that inner thigh to the upper leg and lower. And use the inner thigh to lift the bottom leg and lower. Don't sink into that side closest to the mat. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7. Abs up and in, wrap your ribs. 9, 10, leave that foot up hip height. Now, rotate down to the toe, pronate your foot, tap the toe, come back, and then bring it to the heel. Come back to parallel in the center and rotate inward. And come back to parallel. And now back to the heel by rotating your leg to Pilates V. And now toe, heel, toe. My legs do not touch in the back. Do not rock back to your hip to try to make that happen. If it does, that's great. Some people it does, some people it doesn't. 2 more, 9, and 10. Good. Stack your legs, bring it into the 90-degree clam position. So 90 degrees from your body to your thigh, from your thigh to your calf. Flex your feet gently, bring your feet up about an inch or 2. Now open by rotating the femur in the hip socket and squeeze the inner thigh to bring your leg together. Rotate and squeeze. 2. Here's 3. And 4. From here we have teaser, swimming, and then mermaid. And then guys, class is done. Here's 7, 8, 9, and 10. Stay out there and now pulse up for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze your legs together. Lower your legs. Oh, go ahead and slide onto your back. We're going to be using that same arm position where our arms are glued up out of our shoulders, fingertips coming up out of your sternum for our teaser. If you cannot achieve a teaser with your legs extended all the way, please go ahead and bend your legs or put them in tabletop to begin, wherever you're comfortable. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, begin to peel our head off. As our head comes off, our toes will begin to come off too. And we'll lift up into a teaser. And if you can't achieve that there, go ahead and bend your legs or leave them flat or in tabletop. Now, our toes and eyes will follow each other as we tuck our tail and begin to articulate down. We want our toes and our head to hit at the same time. Good. On this next one, we're going to add on some arm circles. Now begin to peel up. And remember, toes follow your eyes. And now circle your arms for 3, and a 2, and a 1, and reverse for 3, and a 2, and a 1. Eyes in line with toes. Follow each other down as you tuck your tail and begin to articulate down with control. Final one, we're going to lower and lift our legs just 1 inch down, 1 inch up. Try not to move your upper body when you do this. Begin to peel eyes and toes off, head and toes.
Come up and now lower an inch and exhale to left. And inhale to lower an inch, exhale to left. And inhale to lower an inch, exhale to left. Pause. Toes and eyes. Toes and eyes. Toes and eyes. And lower down. We're going to go into swimming from here, just as a counter exercise to the teaser. So we're going to roll onto our stomachs. And that's why swimming is where it is. It's a counter exercise, right? So we've already done swan. We've already done single leg kick. So we've already warmed up our back. We've already warmed up our glutes. We're going to reach our arms out long. Inhale, exhale. Float your arms up. Biceps by your ears. Squeeze your inner thighs. Draw your belly button to your spine. Wrap your ribs. And now begin swimming slowly. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more set of this. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Speed your swimming up. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you feel yourself rocking and rolling, it's because you're swimming too well. Draw everything to the center. Keep it nice and tight. Final set. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower. Press back push. Final child's pose. From here, we're going to go into mermaid, which is going to incorporate the side bending that we discussed earlier. So articulate up, 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 up. That's the last thing to come up. Options for mermaid. I will be sitting in a traditional mermaid. However, there's also the option of the Z-sit mermaid, where the bottom leg comes to the front, or the crisscross applesauce, or the diamond. If you are crisscross applesaucing, or Z-sitting, or traditional mermaid sitting, please switch your legs for the other side. Arms to a T, sitting up nice and tall. Place my right, I'm gonna go my right side first. So I'm sitting on my right hip, sorry about that. I'm going to place my right hand in front of my right hip. I'm going to bring my bicep up on my ear. And I'm going to bend my elbow in, squeezing under my arm to support myself as I reach up long and strong to where the wall of the ceiling meet on the right. I'm going to straighten my elbow in a tricep press. Use my obliques to sit up tall. My left hand will come across my knees with the palm up. I'm going to reach my right bicep up by my ear, press into my palm on top of my knees, and reach for the wall and the ceiling meet on the left side. I'm going to come up to sitting up tall, place my hand down by my hip, bend my elbow in. Remember, don't crunch into your shoulder. Squeeze under the arm to reach up nice and tall out of your body. Coming back up, place the hand across the knee, and reach, 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 reach. Final one. You can look up at the ceiling as you side bend and reach to the opposite side. Bring your arms back up to a T. Go ahead and switch your legs. This side's always the hardest for me to side bend on. This is my stickiest side, right? Bring your left hand down in front of your left hip. Bend your elbow into your hip as you bring your right bicep up by your ear. Squeeze under your arm, reach for the wall and ceiling meet. Come back up. Use your obliques to sit up tall. Bring your right hand across your knees, palms up. Left bicep by your ear. Press down so that shoulder's away from your ears. And reach for the wall and the ceiling meet on the opposite side. Sit up nice and tall. Hand down by your side. Hand in front of your hip. Bend your elbow in. And reach. Sit up tall. Flip your palm, reach to the opposite side. Final one. Sit up tall, place your hand down, bicep by your ear, and reach. Sit up nice and tall, flip your palm, and reach to the opposite direction. Now, go ahead and find a comfortable seated position. Let's go ahead and take a nice deep breath in and exhale it down. Thank you for joining me today, guys. If you have any questions or need any modifications, please feel free to reach out, and I hope that you have a great day.